Hello everyone, welcome to week 3 of semester 2 of module Academic Skills and Studying with Confidence. My name is Hansani Dadallage and I'm a business lecturer. So first, let's see what we are going to learn today. The learning outcome of today's session is to understand academic writing basics. And you are supposed to do the pre-class activity on Moodle. At the end of the session, these are the specific learning outcomes that we are expected to achieve. So you will be able to understand academic writing conventions like structure, tone, and referencing. Then you will be able to overview of essay and report writing techniques and introduction to academic vocabulary and language. These are the specific learning outcomes of the session. And now we are moving on to the live session. So let's see what is academic writing. In definition, academic writing refers to the style of writing used in academic disciplines characterized by critical, objective, and formal context. So, importance of academic writing. Effective academic writing is crucial for communicating research findings, ideas, and arguments within scholarly communities and for achieving academic success. So, as the students, you are required to achieve academic success. For that, you have to practice academic writing. Right, so we are looking at the structure of academic writing. So when you are structuring your writing, especially for an academic essay, you can structure it with these three main sections, which are introduction, body, and conclusion. So introduction section should identify the topic or purpose of your writing, and you should orientate the reader, and you have to write the thesis statement in your introduction section, which means the main idea or the main argument of your writing. Then you can move on to the body section, and you can have several paragraphs within the body section. So depending on the length of the assignment, you can decide the number of paragraphs you have to include in your writing. Then you have to provide more detailed information about the topic within the body section or body paragraphs. You can include examples, including statistics, graphs, tables, and charts to support the ideas that you are bringing within the body section of your academic writing. And then you have to analyze the evidence as well. So you have to analyze the evidence that you have collected and which you are bringing forward in the body section. You have to critically analyze them as well. Then you can move on to the conclusion section, which is the last section in your writing. So you can summarize what you have written in your conclusion. So basically, conclusion refers to a summary of what you have written. So you can restate the thesis statement, summarize the main points within the conclusion, and include final insights and recommendations about the topic or the area that you are writing about. So this is how you can structure your academic writing. Right, so we are going to look into more details about the three sections, starting with introduction. So the purpose of the introduction section, it serves as the opening segment of an academic paper, so aiming to capture the reader's attention, provide context, and present the thesis statement. So that is very important that you write the introduction in an attractive way, because it is the main section that capture the reader's attention in your writing. Then as the components of the introduction, you can use hooks. So it can be an engaging statement, question, or anecdote to draw readers in. So you can start your introduction with any of these hooks. Then you have to include background information, which means contextual details to help readers understand the topic. Then the thesis statement, that is a concise statement that outlines the main argument or purpose of the paper. So you have to have these components in your introduction. You can see an example as well. So let's say you're writing an essay discussing the impact of climate change on biodiversity. So when it comes to the introduction of this essay, it may begin with a shocking statistic about species extinction, provide background information on climate change science, and conclude with a thesis statement highlighting the importance of conservation efforts. So that is how you can structure an introduction for a topic like this. Right. So we have a live activity or classroom activity. So you have to write the starting sentence in the introduction of your essay for a chosen topic. Right. Now we are moving on to the second part in academic writing, which is body paragraphs. So purpose of the body paragraphs is to form the core of the essay, presenting supporting arguments, evidence, and analysis to substantiate the thesis statement. So you have to provide the arguments, evidence, and your critical analysis within the body paragraphs. Components of the body paragraphs include topic sentence. That means a sentence that introduces the main idea or argument of the paragraph. So from paragraph to paragraph within the body paragraphs, you can include a topic sentence. Then you have to provide supporting evidence. That means facts, statistics, examples, or quotations that support the topic sentence. And then you have to have an analysis, which means interpretation and explanation of the evidence, demonstrating its relevance to the thesis. Then lastly, you can have the transition, that is a smooth transition between paragraphs to maintain coherence and flow. This is very important because you have several paragraphs in your body paragraph section. So you have to maintain a smooth transition among the paragraphs. Right. Now we are moving on to the last section in your academic essay, which is the conclusion. So purpose of the conclusion is to provide closure to the paper by summarizing key points, restating the thesis, and offering final insights or recommendations. Components of the conclusion include restatement of the thesis, a rephrased version of the thesis statement, reminding readers of the main argument. Then you can have summary of key points. That means concise recap of the main arguments presented in the body paragraphs. So you have to include a summary of the body paragraphs in your conclusion. And finally, you can have some final thoughts, that is a reflection on the significance of the topic, implications for future research, or calls to action. So an example, in a literature review exploring the effects of social media on mental health, the conclusion may reiterate the importance of addressing mental health challenges exacerbated by social media use, then summarize key findings from the reviewed studies and suggest avenues for further research or interventions. That is an example of a conclusion, like how you can structure your conclusion. Right, moving on to referencing. So it is important that you have to have the references in your academic writing. So once you have done the conclusion, you have to list your reference list. So to reference is to acknowledge a source, which means stating who and where ideas and information have come from your writing. So it is important to distinguish your ideas from others in your assignment and make clear to the reader the different sources that you have referred to in your work. So when you're writing your own ideas, you can add them to your academic writing, but always you have to give the credit to the real authors for the places where you use the information from other sources. So here are two examples of in-text citation and how you should do the reference list, so which we have already learned in first semester. Moving on, so you have the activity based on the video, so you can watch this video to understand the academic writing tone. Right, now we are going to look into essay writing techniques. So there are several techniques that you can follow when you're writing your essay. So starting with the first one, which is pick an interesting topic. So this is important. When you're writing your essay, you have to pick an interesting topic. Otherwise, you will not be interested in writing your essay. Start by choosing a topic you find exciting. Look for things that really grab your attention or make you curious. Then you have to plan and organize. Before you start writing, take a moment to plan out your essay. So you can list out the main ideas you want to talk about along with some supporting points. So then you can decide your structure before you start your essay. Then formulate a thesis statement. Your essay needs a main idea called the thesis statement. So it is like the big point you are trying to prove by writing your essay. Say for an example, video games are important because they are fun, challenging, and helps to connect with friends. So that is the main argument that you are going to prove using your essay. For an example, so you have to formulate the thesis statement when you are going to start write your essay. Then the next technique, conduct thorough research and gather data. So it is very important that you do a thorough research to gather data for your research. And then write the introduction. So start writing your essay with an interesting idea, like using a hook to catch the reader's attention. So you can use a fun fact, a question, or a short story. Then introduce your main idea in your introduction. Moving on, the sixth technique is write the paragraph. So each part of your essay should focus on the main idea. So that means you have to keep your main idea in your mind throughout your writing, because whatever you write in your writing within the body paragraphs should address your main idea. Then craft a persuasive conclusion. Conclude your essay by summarizing the main points and rephrasing your thesis statement in a fresh manner. Make it short and clear. Think about what your main idea means and why it is important. Then check your work. When you finish writing, take a break. Then read your essay again to find mistakes. Look for places where you can make your writing clearer or fix spelling mistakes. Then another technique that you can use is get help from others. Show your essay to someone else like a friend or teacher so that you can always get feedback from them. Then make it look nice. When you are done making changes, check to make sure your essay looks good. So make sure you proofread it and structure it appropriately. So now you have another video to watch and understand how to write an essay. So this video will explain you better how to write an essay. Right, now we are going to look into report writing. So previously we checked how you have to write an essay. Now we are going to check how you have to write a report. Report writing involves the structured presentation of information, analysis of findings in a written format. Reports are typically written documents that convey specific information to a targeted audience for a particular purpose. So they are commonly used in professional, academic, and organizational context to document research, project developments, analysis, proposals, or recommendations. Effective report writing requires clear organization, concise language, and attention to detail to ensure that the intended message is communicated accurately and comprehensively to the audience. So when we see the difference between report and essay, the main difference between report and essay, so you can check it by looking at the function. When it comes to report, presents information with a clear purpose to a specific audience. When it comes to essay, it is presented in a logically structured answer to a particular question or questions, usually presented as an argument, and it used to demonstrate knowledge and understanding. But when it comes to reports, they are often simulate industry reports. And when we structure a report, it has specific sections using numbered headings and subheadings and may use drafts and illustrations along with recommendations. But when it comes to essays, that is a continuous flow of text using minimal subheadings, rarely uses graphics, and rarely has recommendations or appendices because it is written on a particular question or a particular area in general. So now we have a classroom activity which you can do. You have to pick one topic out of these and you have to write an introduction to an essay using 100 to 150 words. So these are the lessons that we are planning to cover next week, and this is the reference list for today's session. So that is about the week 3 of academic skills and studying with confidence module. And thank you for watching.